when I paid my cable bill prior to this disagreement, I got Bally's. Bally's is coming back in 2 days. My bill hasn't gone down. If in 2 days I still don't have Bally's and I still can't watch Tiger games, I would like my bill to go down. I would ask that the services that I was paying for changed. My bill didn't reflect that. And I think if I call them up and ask them to reduce my bill, I will probably get rejected. I will probably be told, well, for only $20 more per month, you can now watch. I'm going to have to unfortunately cave and do that, but maybe I've already got this Ultimate Sports Plus package extra. I don't know. Do you don't know if you have?
I'm
King?
not sure. I feel like I'm more than leaning towards I have it. I feel like I do have it.
Why do you feel that way?
Because of the other channels that I have. I have some premium channels. So
like sports channels?
Well, it's not just sports. I mean, I have Max and Showtime.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to all the sports channels that you can get, basically.
Xfinity's Ultimate TV customers. Well, that could apply. It's not an Ultimate Sports package. It's Xfinity's Ultimate. I'm going to Google search this and see if I can tell if I've got it.
How to know if I have the...
Oh, God, stop.
Well, am I wrong? Is everybody asking themselves this question? Do you know what you have?
I don't have this.
You know you don't have this.
Yeah.
Do you have any premium channels?
Yeah, I got, well, not like Gator does, but I have, Network, Red Zone, all that. I have some extra sports. I have NBA TV. I don't have this Ultimate package, which is more than sports.
So I've got all those. You know that the Ultimate package doesn't include NFL Network and Red Zone.
I don't know. Who knows? Does anyone really even know anymore, right?
Well, you were sure that you didn't
have
it.
No, I don't have Bally's.
No, but I'm asking, will you when you
no.
win this? You don't.
I just know the channels I have. I don't know the package I have.
You don't
Does it
know
make
what
sense?
package you have, so you could get it.
This is an upgraded package, and it seems like the ultimate package, Doug. Is what they're calling it.
I don't know if I've got it.
So are you what? Just gonna wait until the date comes to see if you have it?
August 1st.
Yeah. Or you could just call,
And then I'm gonna flip on the game and it's not gonna be on. I'm gonna go, damn! I'm already paying for cable.
See?
That guy was a prophet.
He really was. That's a long time ago, man. That's 15 years ago.
Well, that's how profits
13
work.
years ago.
That's how profits work.
You know what's funny about that call? The question the question that day was, would you pay more? I will never forget this. Would you? Because he didn't understand the concept. There are games that aren't available in your market, but if you could get them a la carte, would you pay an extra $4.99 to watch UCLA and Arizona State or whatever? I mean, I think it was during football season. Would you pay $4.99 just to watch that big San Francisco-Seattle game that's not available in your market? And he called up and said, no. We said, why? He said, because I'm already paying for cable. We said, yeah, but what you're paying for, you're not getting this. Our question is, if you could pay to watch one game, would you pay? No. Why? I'm already paying for cable. Right. But we're just saying, as a sports fan, if there's a big NFL game that isn't available in your market, would you pay for it? Nope. And why wouldn't you pay for it? Because I'm already paying for cable. He just kept going back to that and kind of became a legendary call. And now I agree with, I'm already paying for cable guy. 248-539-9797. I'll find out in 2 days. Gator will find out in 2 days. Kang's convinced he doesn't have it. Hey, the best place to bet on the games this summer is FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Then you can bet on your favorite international teams and all your favorite sports, from basketball to badminton to soccer to swimming. FanDuel has it all. Yep, you can bet badminton. So don't miss your chance to score $150 in bonus bets to bet all the badminton you want if your first bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/Doug and sign up and start betting badminton today. Must be 21 or older and present in Michigan. First online real money wager. Only $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued is now withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Doug Carr, Scott Anderson, 97 won the ticket. You watch any of the O games last night, Gator? Or yesterday afternoon?
No.
No.
No, I went to the baseball game last night.
Kang, did you watch any O games yesterday?
I saw some of the swimming. That was fun. I love swimming. Yeah. Marquee event, man.
Yeah, it feels like swimming, gymnastics, and track and field are the ones that get the big numbers. Didn't you tell me that the ratings?
The NBA, not NBA. The basketball is getting big numbers.
Is the basketball getting like better numbers than the NBA?
The basketball is getting better numbers than like 4 major sports other than football here in this country. Like, wow. I think it did better than a World Series game, Stanley Cup Finals, NBA Finals. I know it was on Sunday, though, so I'm sure that helped. But with the big names, and they're not playing teams that you don't even know. You know guys on the other team now. You know, they just played Jokic, right. NBA MVP. So, yeah, they're getting good numbers. But I think this is one of those where people that don't follow basketball are watching the Olympics, right? And that's an event they actually know, basketball.
248-539-9797. The men's gymnastics last night was actually pretty cool. The two U of M kids, Paul Duda and Frederick Richard, were awesome. The story of Brody Malone, his dad, who did the letter to his son and broke up crying in the middle of it because they lost his Brody Malone's mom. That was pretty inspirational. NBC totally manipulated me there, and I became a big Brody Malone fan. And then there was pommel horse Clark Kent, Steven Netarasic, who wore the glasses, sat there and waited for the pommel horse. He was the last to go. That's all he does for the team, just pommel horse. And he killed it, and they got the bronze.
He's a specialist.
He is a specialist. And they kept showing him, like, leading up to it. His time's coming. You see all the other guys competing, and he's just chilling.
How'd he do?
He did very well, and they secured the bronze with it. Hadn't won a medal in 4 Olympics, 3 Olympics, something like that in men's gymnastics.
That's since Bart Connor?
No, that was much longer time ago than our last one. But the Frederick Richard kid, who's got the Instagram page, Freddie Flips, is trying to get more black kids to get into gymnastics. And he's kind of awesome. He's a great personality, and they did a feature on him. And, of course, they had his dad mic'd up. His dad was fired up.
Isn't he supposed to be like, I'm parachuting in here. Isn't he supposed to be like possibly the next great gymnast, male gymnast?
Yep, could be.
This is like
he could be
the beginning here, man.
Yep,
those guys are jacked.
Yeah, they've worked out.
You lift every day. My body. I lift it every day.
Right, exactly.
I mean, they really are.
I know.
Well, they're all. I mean, they're so compact. You know, they're shorter and incredibly strong.
Yep.
You think about pound for pound strength. I mean, these guys are insane.
Without question. Let's get back to your phone calls. We go to Steve in Heartland Yard, 97 on the ticket. Hi, Steve.
Hey, good morning, guys.
What's up?
I just want a quick comment about the Comcast Xfinity thing. I've had that for a long time, and I have Ultimate. And I can answer you guys if you had any questions about it or whatever, what you've been talking about. What happens is when I get a paper statement every month. Okay, I don't have auto pay. In fact, when I just listened to you guys, I went and read my statement. And how it works when you have Ultimate TV, that includes the sports package, which also includes Bally. Now, since that problem happened here, I've had 3 different credits in the last 2 months for $8. I mean, it's McDonald's money. $8.30 1 month, $16.60. I just paid it here about a week ago. Then I made a call this morning, and what happens is on August 1st, my ultimate package will now start to show me the Bally stuff, but I will no longer get the credit. Now, down the road, you never know, prices go up and they hide stuff, but I'm back to square one. I just no longer get the credit.
Okay, so if when you have Ultimate, does that include NFL Network, Red Zone, MLB TV, NBA TV? Is that all part of Ultimate, or is it even more than that?
Yes, I watch this stuff real close because I have all my internet and cell phones and this phone I'm talking to you on right now, and I still pay good money to Comcast Xfinity. But I will tell you this, they are the premium company out there, but you got to really watch. Like, I don't have HBO, nothing like that. You got to watch what kind of package you pick. And luckily, out here in Heartland, I'm only about 8 miles away from a store in Brighton. I go in there about every 6 months, and I say, hey, what's out there? Wow. I'm retired. Hey, what's out there? What can I do?
This is the kind of stuff I'm expecting I'll do in my retirement is actually tie up loose ends. So, Steve, if you have NFL Network, Red Zone, MLB TV, NBA TV, Big Ten Network, you have Ultimate.
Yes.
Okay.
I looked at just 20 minutes ago before I called you all.
Awesome.
All right,
I have Ultimate TV, and it also, besides the sports stuff, it gives you other channels, too.
Oh, wait a sec. Like what? If I don't have those channels, then I might not have
I don't know. My wife watches them. I don't watch them, but I start clicking through them, and they're all over. You get all the music channels. You get everything.
All right, cool. Thank you. I hope that means,
I think we have it. I think if we have that upper tier sports package we put together, that this is part of that. I'm hoping.
But like I don't have any of the movie channels. None of them.
I think that's extra. Don't worry about that.
Okay, so we are of the belief that if you get all those networks we mentioned, all those sports, but NHL Network, MLB, NBA, TV, I get the Golf Channel, Red Zone. If that's the ultimate package, then yes, I'm all set, and I won't have to pay any more for Bally's. But I'm worried Ultimate's like some extra tier where you get like MLB TV 2 and NBA TV 2.
Right.
If they exist.
I'm just looking. I said, what channels are in the ultimate package here? So we shall see. I feel confident.
Confident-ish. 248-539-9797. All right, I know people turn on the radios as the day goes on to find out, have the Tigers made a deal yet today? The answer so far is no, but things appear to be afoot. The latest is, teams are still calling on Flaherty and Skubal. Teams that could be included: Baltimore, the Yankees, San Diego, Cleveland, Atlanta. Philly has been mentioned. I suspect Houston is out with the trade they made yesterday for Kikuchi, the pitcher out of Toronto. Milwaukee may still want a starting pitcher. They did trade for Frankie Montas, but he's kind of having a rough year. Would they want Flaherty still? We'll see. But the tenor is could go one of two ways. The tenor is, given what Houston gave up to get Kikuchi, who's not as good as Flaherty, Detroit could be poised to score. Could be poised to score when they move Jack Flaherty. Now the question becomes, did they not move Flaherty already because their asking price is too high? I'm going to lean against that because, Gator, I don't think you scratch a guy from a start if you don't have an offer on the table you'd accept. Now, maybe they did scratch him when they didn't have an offer on the table they'd accept, but I wouldn't.
Well, I mean, if you listen to what A.J. Hinch had to say about it yesterday, would you buy his explanation for it, that they didn't think it was fair to put him out there with all this speculation and all that, that they want to basically kind of protect him from having all that in his head in what might be his last start? I think the Tigers did the smart thing, whether they had a deal that they feel like the deal is imminent, or if they just want to protect the investment of Jack Flaherty into another team. That, like, look, let's not risk putting him out there hours before the trade deadline, where maybe he has a back flare up and then there's no value. That to me is what it was. It was protecting against a deal, not that necessarily a deal was imminent. Maybe that they feel ultra confident they'll get a deal done based on all the suitors.
One would have to imagine.
I would have to think that's the case.
I got a Twitter poll about what you want to have happen today. We'll update that. You can go vote and comment at Doug and Gator 971. You've got 30-something minutes left to do that. Tiger baseball this afternoon. Carson Anderson, 97.1. Trade deadline day in Major League Baseball. Had a question out there on Twitter. What do you want to have happen today? What's your hope? Option 1, nobody is traded from the Detroit Tigers. Option 2, just Flaherty dealt for an MLB-ready prospect. Option 3, just Skubal dealt for an historic haul of prospects. Or option 4, both Flaherty and Skubal are dealt for a Major League-ready prospect and a historic haul of prospects. What do you prefer? The voting, less than 30 minutes to go. Nobody dealt as 17.3% of the vote. Just Flaherty dealt 43.4% of the vote. Just Skubal dealt 2% of the vote. Both dealt 37.3% of the vote. It comes with comments. We're reading many of them on the air. Chet writes in, Flaherty should have been dealt last night with what teams were willing to give up. You don't know that, Chet. You have no idea what teams are willing to give up for Flaherty, and you have no idea what they still might give up for Flaherty. It's possible he should have been dealt last night, but until we get to the deadline, how can you say that?
Questioning Chet? But that's Chet.
I love the name Chet. I
you
wanted
do.
to name one of the boys Chet. My wife wouldn't let me. It hurts to question Chet. But Chet, I disagree. From Super Adidas 11, things going to be blown up again. I think the Tigers are moving to right off the year. Flaherty is sure to be dealt with his scratch yesterday and no contract control. From Matt, nobody dealt will be the caveat that Flaherty ends up signing an extension. I trust the Tigers have explored this with him and have a good idea whether that's possible. Matt writes in, if we get Erod 2.0 with Flaherty, I'm going to be mad. Trade him or extend him by dinner. I would only deal Skubal if you get 2 of Holiday, Mayo, Norby, and if not, just hold on to him. Well, I'd want 3 of them. I'd want all 3 of them. CPK in Ann Arbor says, Flaherty is a short-termer and injury-prone. You need to deal him. Skubal's a centerpiece to build around. If you trade him, then you're hoping to receive one prospect as good as Tarek Skubal. Keep Skubal and sign 2 or 3 bats.
Well, I'm not sure if I love Tarek Skubal, but I'm not sure that he's a guy you can count on to be the centerpiece because he's got health issues.
He does. He's healthy now, and he looks great.
He looks
no
great.
sign of slowing down. He's making it look easy, which can be misleading, but he has in the past had some injury issues. 248-539-9797. So, other developments included the trade that Milwaukee got Frankie Montas from the Reds. Astros got the starting pitcher Yusei Kikuchi. They sent back their number 3 prospect, a starting pitcher Jake Bloss, plus Joey Loperfido, a power-hitting outfielder who peaked out at number 5 in their organization. He had been called up. He's got like 2 home runs and 100 at-bats. And an infielder named Will Wagner. Seems like a good return. It's being praised as a good return. And then there was this. Garrett Crochet and his agency, CAA, diminished his trade value by saying they wouldn't pitch him in October unless he received a contract extension first. So that might make some teams back off Garrett Crochet, which could drive up the price for Skubal. Bob Nightingale did report that the White Sox believe that starter Garrett Crochet likely will be moved today in spite of that, but center fielder Luis Robert is likely staying. So you get to supply and demand economics. If you look at other pitchers being dealt, Kikuchi, Montas, etc., the demand is still there. Baltimore, the Yankees, San Diego, Cleveland, Atlanta, Philadelphia, still maybe Milwaukee. All could be there in the bidding for the Tiger pitchers, one which would cost you everything and the other which would cost you something of value. I mean, as it stands, I got 2 fears. One is that the Flaherty back injury is hurting the market, and 2 is that Scott Harris might be overplaying his hand a little bit in the case of Flaherty. But you don't really have those concerns?
No, I just think I'm not that concerned about Flaherty because it's the rental, and he's had that second shot, and he has pitched very well since he had the second shot. So if there was an issue after the first shot, wasn't great. There hasn't been after the second one. So I'd feel confident as a team trading for him that can work out.
In the meantime, there is discussion of other Tiger players. It could be a Gio Urshela thrown into a trade package, could be Mark Canha, could be bullpen arms, but the obvious for sale sign on the marquee is Skubal and Flaherty. And I mean, look, if the Skubal thing happens, it's got to be minimum 3 MLB ready prospects. One has to be elite. like a top 10 kind of guys, and others close to it. Or, I mean, maybe you mix in a young player who's no longer a prospect because he's on an MLB roster, a Heston Kjerstad from Baltimore or Andy Paez from the Dodgers, who's already in the majors. Could another team get involved? They could. Probably the best thing that I've seen reported today that should make you feel positive if you're a Tiger fan is Jim Bowden saying that the Yankees and Orioles are preparing for an epic race in the AL East and both are desperate to upgrade. That's a good thing. To have teams that are bidding on your guys be desperate.
Yes, I like the word desperate, though I'm not sure if it's used for hyperbole in this situation or not. Because Baltimore they haven't been acting like a team that's desperate with the way that
no, they haven't.
The trade deadline
Their posture,
is gone.
And look, I mean, we're reading tea leaves out of Baltimore. The posturing out of Baltimore is, yeah, we'd love Skubal, but not that much.
Love to have them, but not at the expense of our top couple prospects.
Of the core of guys that we're not going to use.
Right.
It's funny because it's all like I don't want to. I almost feel insulted if they are calling about Skubal but not offering their top guys. Is that reason to be insulted?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like, oh, you're calling us about the best pitcher in baseball right now, and you're offering not
your best, like the best prospect in baseball.
That doesn't seem to make sense.
You're trying to you're trying to lowball on the best pitcher in baseball who you have for 3 postseasons. I don't know.
Foolish, just foolish.
And look, we don't know what they're doing, but it's kind of a feeling that Baltimore just doesn't want to pay.
That's the most salient point ever made, right? Is that none of us know. We have no idea if Baltimore has picked up the phone and offered blank. We don't know what any offer is. We don't know what the discussion is. We don't know what Scott Harris is saying back. I think the longer this goes and nothing has happened, more people feel like, oh, Scott Harris is just stonewalling. Why is he holding out for so much? And people have no idea what the other end of the conversation is. You know, Baltimore is like, yeah, you know, we'd like Skubal. We'll give you, we have an outfielder. The last name is Stowers. I think that's pretty good. And maybe we'll give you a couple pitching prospects we have. But we feel like you're getting an everyday ready to go outfielder. Yeah, no.
248-539-9797. Phone calls, feedback. Meantime, a Detroit Lion said today, it hasn't been easy. We'll explain today at 12:20. And we got a giveaway. You can win 4 tickets, Michigan fans, to a Michigan season preview show that we're doing down a event inside the Hockeytown Cafe on Wednesday, August 7th. It's called the MGO Blue Preview. Myself, John Jansen, Mojo, and Stoney will be there. Couple-hour event discussing the upcoming college football season. We'll have player appearances, giveaways, food, drink, and much, much more. The only way to get is to win them, and the way you win them is be the first correct caller with the answer to a Carson Anderson quiz question today at 12:26. First one with the correct answer, you got a 4-pack of tickets to go to that event. Brought to you by Pepsi. 248-539-9797. Got a ton of feedback coming in today on a variety of topics. Let's get to some of it. Scott Boras is running the Skubal show. Trade Skubal now and let another team deal with that headache. That's from Mar in Kalamazoo.
Is he a headache? Oh, with Boras being the headache.
Yep.
Sorry.
Brad writes in, this is the Tigers' chance to have their Brad Holmes moment. Trade Skubal for a haul like Holmes did with Stafford. It's a no-brainer. Well, I think it's a brainer.
I mean, you do it if you can get that. If they call and say, let's say that the Rams had called back and it offered, we'll give you a second-round pick and a third-round pick for Matthew Stafford. Would you make the deal?
Probably not.
No.
I mean, in retrospect, I think a second-round pick and a third-round pick in Brad Holmes' hands is a very dangerous thing. I think the guy's really good with those. But I'd prefer the 2 first rounds.
Yeah, I mean, you make the deal when the deal makes sense.
Trading Flaherty and Skubal would be like moving Raymond and Sider. Why would you do that? No, it's not like that. Which one of Raymond and Sider is about to leave in free agency, and which one is, well, I mean, it would be like trading one of them. Neither of them are like Flaherty. Neither Raymond nor Sider is like Flaherty. Trading Raymond or Sider, I guess the comp would be if there's no other. If you only had Raymond and you traded him, or if your only good player, young player, was Sider. The Tigers just don't have enough young talent. Surprise of the day will be Skubal to the Pirates. GM is very aggressive. They have top 20 caliber guys like Salas, a catcher, and DeVries, a shortstop. The Pirates, huh? Pirates, you say?
Pirates do have some prospects.
Take a look there. All right, meantime, a Lion thought they were joking when they told him something. We will get to that today at 12:20 here on 97.1 The Ticket.
Let me just hit a refresh. No.
It's funny. Excitement's growing and anticipation is growing. And so is panic.
Right.
I ain't gonna lie. It's part of me is like, oh, we're getting closer to trade deadline. If something's gonna go down, it's gonna go down soon. Something's gonna go down. And I'm like, something's gonna go down, right?
You guys are going to do something here, correct?
248-539-9797. Dwayne, you're next. Hi, Dwayne.
Hey, fellas, how you doing today?
All right, Dwayne.
Hey, I'm tired of getting everybody shiny new pennies at the trade deadline. It frustrates me that we are everybody's minor league system at the trade deadline. We're like the Chicago White Sox. If we do not need to trade Skubal. I don't even think we need to trade Flaherty. I think we extend him, and I think we've got three of the best pitchers moving forward. And let's find somebody that can hit.
What if he doesn't want to be extended? I don't disagree. But I don't think anybody's saying you've got to trade Skubal. I think the only thing you come up with saying yes to a Skubal trade is if it's a Godfather offer. But the Flaherty situation is.
But Gator, what's a Godfather offer? They're prospects. What would Spencer Torkelson?
What do you have? Okay, but what do you have with Skubal?
Everybody in Major League.
What do you really have with Skubal?
Pardon me?
We know Skubal's really good. We know he's really good this year, but he made 15 starts last year.
Okay, yeah, most pitchers are. You're right. Pitchers are have an issue with staying healthy in today's Major League Baseball because of the way they baby them and coddle them. But I still think he's a proven commodity. Came through our system.
He's a proven commodity, but is he a guy? Is he a guy that you think is going to be injury free for 5 or 7 years for the length of another contract?
Okay, let me ask you this question, Gator. Do you think anybody we're going to get in a trade is going to be injury-free for the next 4 or 5 years?
Well, I feel better about the chances when you're going to get, if you get 4 or 5 prospects, I'd feel better about that prospect.
Look at Riley Green. Riley Green can't stay healthy. I mean, he hasn't played a full Major League season.
Yeah, I know.
Hurt all the time.
I have real concerns about Riley Green. I agree with you on Riley Green.
As a Detroit fan,
I don't know why he's yelling.
As a Detroit fan, you guys, I am tired of us finding good players that we bring to the Major League.
If you're going to lose them anyway, like a free agent, you understand the Flaherty thing. Right?
Well, what players are you referring to? What players are you referring to that we mined and then had to give them away because they were getting to free agency?
I'm just saying, would Chris Ilitch spend some money to keep our teams that are our teams?
Yeah, he might.
Why doesn't he spend money?
He might.
But you said
he did
before,
on Baez. It's a terrible contract.
But you said before that you're tired of seeing the Tigers trade away the guys. What, trade away the guys at the end of the run?
Every single year,
who?
We go out, we get guys, and we off them at the trade deadline. It's not a strategy for winning. All these guys we hire for one-year contracts.
Lorenzen.
All the guys we bring in for a contract. Flaherty's, the Lorenzens, let's get them and let's trade them and get guys prospects. Has it worked out for us?
He named 2.
So and it might work out with Lorenzen.
It might work out very well.
They got a really good prospect for him. But again, look, to his point and to a lot of people's point, they're apprehensive because prospects are unproven. And then he can go out and bring up the Torkelson comparison. And I get it. That's a guy taken first overall. Casey Mize, guy taken first overall. And they're just that. They're prospects. And they haven't panned out to this point.
But Bobby Witt Jr. was once a prospect.
Well, there's another side of it, right?
Yeah, and Gunnar Henderson was one. If you were dealing with the Orioles a couple of years ago, you might have got Gunnar Henderson back here.
Yeah, I mean, you can go both sides of it. And the point of what's the Godfather offer? The Godfather offer is that you get some amazing prospects from Baltimore and a couple of them hit. Mm-hmm. Okay, a couple of them won't. But if you get 4 and 2 of those guys hit, well, that's pretty good return.
Flaherty, it's obvious because he's a free agent. You got him for basically nothing, and you can spin him into something that can help you in the future. Skubal, the one variable with Skubal is had they had initial talks with Skubal and Scott Boras about a contract extension, and if they have, how have those talks gone?
Well, and if you're tired of the 1-year deal thing, okay, so you're going to tell me that you would have signed Jack Flaherty to a 4-year deal in the offseason when he had been hurt almost every year the last 5 years? That was worth, let's go ahead and give him that kind of a contract? Or is it more smart? Was it more smart? Was it smarter
Smarter wrist.
to go out and sign to a 1-year prove-it contract, and not just prove it to the Tigers, prove it to Major League Baseball that you're back. Because the guy they got in the last offseason was coming off of a horrible year. So you're telling me you would have given him more than a 1-year deal? I mean, that's ludicrous.
All right, we promised we'd get to this. We'll get back to your phone calls in a moment. But Graham Glasgow joined the morning show, and John Jansen asked him a question about when the Lions signed Kevin Zeitler. What was his response? Adding to the offensive line. Here was the exchange this morning. You know, it's funny because remember when Jansen told us early when he first got here, left guard to left tackle, no problem. Right guard to left guard to right guard, that's a problem. That it's really difficult switching sides. And it sounds like Graham Glasgow was a little bit like, oh, wait, what? I'm doing what?
Well, there's some relearning in footwork, to say the least.
So what goes into that kind of change? Here's what Graham Glasgow said.
All right.
Interesting. First of all, it doesn't sound like he was like stoked about it. And secondly, it doesn't sound like it's easy.
No. I forget what the timeline was, but they signed him before they signed Zeitler.
Yes. They already had him under contract. Right?
So he's like, got this, ready to come back. Love it. And then you find out, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, we want you to move the other side. As he said, he thought it was a joke. It's not a joke.
This is one to monitor and make sure it's going okay, because in theory you think, all right, plug and play Glasgow and Zeitler at the guard spots. I'm not saying it's not going to work. I'm saying we got to make sure it's going to work.
Yeah, I think we'll be okay, but to me it's clear that he prefers the right side, you know? It's definitely like if you made him choose, he wouldn't go, whatever. No, he'd be like, no, that side.
Yep.
So he's got all of camp, of course, and like I said, I think that they'll be fine and figure it out. But it's an interesting. When I heard that with the morning show, I thought, that's not as just. I mean, even he's saying you're joking, right?
Yeah.
No.
He didn't seem to believe.
No, but yeah, he's gonna step up. He'll do it.
248-539-9797. Phone calls, feedback. Tiger baseball coming up this afternoon. For people just joining us, no moves yet made today by the Tigers. We got the. What's wrong?
No, I'm just, that's a heavy sigh, but not yet.
Yeah. So the guy was talking about how the Tigers trade off pieces every trade deadline. 3 trade deadlines ago, you know who they traded off? Michael Fulmer. I don't feel like they've traded anybody regrettable of late. And the other part of that is, and they got Sawyer Gibson Long for him, which, you know, not doing much here and constantly hurt.
He's hurt. Yeah.
But you get to the point where they're just to the previous caller who doesn't understand the philosophy or doesn't agree with the philosophy. If you're close, you give it gas with free agents. I feel like if you're not close, you are hoarding prospects. Now, you can do that without giving up Scooble. You can still hoard prospects. They got one prospect back already who might have some promise as a relief pitcher. They got a chance to get a major league ready player for moving Flaherty, and maybe sweeten the pot with another player or two. And they've got help on the way. There are guys that will be helping over the next couple of years, like Jace Young, like Jackson Jobe, like Hao-Yu Lee. I think's got a shot. I can't help but be encouraged what we're seeing from Max Clark. You know what? 4 trade deadlines ago. So I just found 4 trade deadlines ago.
Okay.
The Tigers traded left-handed pitcher Daniel Norris for a pitcher named Reese Olson. I would say that was an upgrade. Even though Olsen's hurt, Olsen has a future that is very promising.
It looks bright.
Yep. So they have moved guys for young guys. That's an example of a deal that was a veteran player for a young guy that has worked out well for Detroit. All right, let's give away these 4 passes to the MGO Blue preview, which is Wednesday, August 7th at the Music Town Studios inside the Hockey Town Cafe. Earlier this hour, or maybe it was just earlier the show, Gator compared the Tigers-Orioles trade talks to two sides trying to make lunch. What was the comparison? What were they trying to make? First correct answer at 248-539-9797. You get the 4-pack of tickets for the event, previewing the Michigan football season. Myself, John Jansen, Wojo, and Stoney. Player appearances, giveaways, food, drink, and much more presented by Pepsi. And the only way to win them, only way to get in is to win them here on 97.1 The Ticket. 248-539-9797. First correct answer, you got the tickets. 97.1. Doug Harsh, Scott Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket. Congratulations to Darnell and Novi. He knew the correct answer was peanut butter and jelly. Gator compared the Tigers and the Orioles talking about trading as we've got all this peanut butter.
And you've got all this jelly.
We've got actually what we have is we have 2 servings of elite peanut butter. You have a ton of jelly. A ton of jelly. Can't we make a deal? Don't you want our elite peanut butter? Because we want all your jelly. We'll leave you a little bit. We'll leave you a little bit. Out. But we want a good portion of your great jelly.
I mean, I go heavy on peanut butter when I make a PB&J.
Darnell Novi knows he won the tickets to the M Go Blue preview show August 7th at Music Town inside Hockeytown Cafe. 248-539-9797. Let's get back to your open line calls. We go to Michael next here on 97.1. Hello, Michael.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Doing good, Michael.
Fun day today. Trade deadline day is always fun, right?
It's interesting.
So, yeah, I mean, thoughts on the Tigers, right? It's the longer we wait, if I'm the GM, the better position I'm in, because then you have guys or teams like Baltimore that basically can win the World Series this year, waiting, possibly upping their offer, negotiating against themselves to give you, one more of those prospects. And the people that call into, I've listened to, the Valenti show yesterday and Rieger last night. The guys that call in and say they don't want prospects are nuts. If we talk about the Orioles prospects, these guys aren't prospects. These guys aren't like high A ball guys that you might not ever see on a major league roster. If we get like the 3 or 4 guys they're floating out there or potentially talking about, these are guys that you put in your lineup that are better than every single person in your lineup, with the exception of maybe Riley Green or Cole Keith. And it just doesn't make sense to hold on to anyone besides those 2 players. Get rid of Skubal, Flaherty, Torkelson, make Torque somebody else's project. I just don't get it when people say they don't want prospects. These are not prospects if we're talking about the Baltimore guys,
Well, you're right in one regard is that in most organizations, those guys would be playing right now. The Baltimore guys, most of them. They've got guys, prospects that are at the major league level that are basically playing backup roles. They've done an incredible job. The core of this even being possible is Baltimore's amazing job of drafting talent. Amazing.
Absolutely. I mean, Jackson Holiday, Basalo, the catcher, right? I mean, they turned Adley Rutschman into an absolute beast. Kjerstad has no place in their lineup, which is crazy because he would start anywhere else, regularly.
Well, here's the other thing, too. If you're Baltimore, it's kind of like Brad Holmes. We sit here and talk about young players we like or draft picks we like, but there's no reason to believe it's going to stop. Right? You're going to if you keep drafting well, you'll be fine, Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, they have the depth. They have people that are literally waiting to play that are just in high AAA or in AAA or on the bench.
Kobe Mayo hasn't played yet. Kobe Mayo is one of the few that actually hasn't gotten a chance yet, and he's killing it. He's got 52 home runs in the last 2 seasons of minor leagues playing AA and AAA baseball, and it spans 807 at bats. He's got 52 home runs. That's power. That's production, and that's a guy who's being blocked at the major league level. He's the number 15 prospect in all of baseball. He's a corner infielder, would slide right in for the Tigers over at third base. It just gets to be frustrating. Got a great arm, and it's a player that hopefully come tonight is part of the Tigers organization. Either part of that's a piece to me has to be included in a Skubal trade if they trade Skubal. And if Baltimore doesn't want to give it up, then they don't want to give it up. But for me, that's the guy I'm targeting for Flaherty, because I think that's the more likely of the 2 trades.
Let's go to Dennis next on 97.1. Hi, Dennis.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
Listen, I don't want to trade Skubal for this reason. Like, we got 3 guys in the lineup right now that were rookies. We got 3 or 4 guys in the minors, like you mentioned them earlier, that are ready to come up. Skubal, it's like making the lunch, peanut butter and jelly. Okay, I would have went with them having a bunch of chicken wings, and we got the hot sauce, baby. Everybody wants this hot sauce. Why would you trade it? I would not trade that kid for nothing. So for me, I'd keep him. I'd sign Flaherty, and with Reese Olson, we got a great trio combo. We got 3 or 4 guys ready.
What would you sign? What would you sign Flaherty to?
2 years.
You think he wants to do a 2-year deal, or do you think he wants to go to free agency and sign like a 3 or 4 year deal?
Well, who knows what he wants? I'm just saying, I give him a 2, maybe 3 year contract. It's like this. He's probably going to start 20 games a year, but he's going to win 12 or 13 of them.
Well,
I mean,
I don't think if you only believe he's going to
start 20 games a year, then I'm not signing him.
Hell no. Hell no. I mean, you that says you believe he's going to get hurt. You wouldn't trade him. You'd sign him, and you think he said probably going to start 20 games a year. No, I'm not doing that. Are you?
So John Morosi just tweeted this out.
Uh-oh.
Of note, Jack Flaherty and Mike Schilt had a good relationship when Flaherty was a Cardinal. Schilt's Padres are looking to add a starter. Flaherty is available. The double eye, giant wide-eyed emoji.
So he's looking at.
Is he thinking that San Diego is going to play for him?
Well, I mean, look, the Padres I know have really kind of drained their system of late.
Yeah,
and they don't have what they used to have, one of the top, most promising systems in all of baseball, and now they don't. If they end up dealing with the Padres, I mean, you could still get a major league ready player, I suppose. Padres got a young outfielder I really like, but they're using him too much. You could try and get Ethan Salas, the great catcher, but he's at A-ball. Yeah,
I guess I'm not jazzed about hearing that the Padres could be there, but who knows until you see if it comes to fruition what the player is. But I'm with you on that. Their system does not seem to be chock full of studs like we've seen them have in the past.
I mean, Pittsburgh in the top 100. Remember the caller said this stunner is going to come with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, he was talking about for Skubal. Pittsburgh has 4 top 100 prospects. 3 of them are pitchers. The only position player is at A-ball.
A high A-ball, yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a match made in heaven, does it?
It does not. It does not, and that player is okay. 790 OPS this year at high A-ball.
From an unnamed texter, guys, I'm worried that Scott Harris thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. I have a feeling he does not get a deal done for either. Also, what's the deal with Mize move to the 60-day IL? I'm thinking he's a bust.
I wouldn't worry about the 60-day IL thing, okay? Because in reality, he hadn't gone to a rehab assignment yet, okay? And we're at the precipice of August. So let's say that he were to go there next week, the first week of August. He'd have to make probably a couple of starts there before you feel like he's ready to come back. So now you're talking middle of August.
Mm-hmm.
Being on a 60-day DL or IL means he's ready. He'll be eligible to come back like September 3rd. So you're talking about a couple of weeks. Does it matter?
Well,
I mean, it matters if you're going for it, you're in the hunt.
I don't know.
And they're not.
To me, it does matter. When we go back to the beginning of the season, we said with Casey Mize, the lowest of low bars is give us 30 starts. The lowest of low bars. Just show that you can go through a season healthy, and he once again hasn't. So I'm starting to shade towards bust, and I don't love it. I hate it.
That's a different side of it. I was just pointing to the 60-day thing. But yeah, I'm worried about him not being able to stay healthy when you pull a hamstring because you're forced to make a play on a pop-up between home and the pitcher's mound. That's concerning.
Unnamed texter, Baltimore traded for Flaherty last year. It didn't work out. I doubt they do it again. There was a report, I can't remember who it was, some Major League insider asked Baltimore about that, and they said no, that wouldn't preclude them from doing it.
Totally different situation.
But it is unusual. It is highly unusual. Braves bought back 2 guys, and maybe the Tigers are asking a lot from the Astros. They better have offers from New York, Baltimore, San Diego, etc. The New York-Baltimore possibility is a strong one. That is the one that New York and Baltimore are the 2 sides that could drive up the price. We'll be talking about it tomorrow, and if there's rain, we'll be talking about it during this Tiger game. As of now, it looks like it's going to start on time. So Tigers wrapping up this series with the Gribe. That is next. Stay safe. Treat each other with respect. 97.1.